Update. Future mother-in-law called me stupid, and now I'm considering calling off the wedding. How do I approach the situation? Original post. I, 23 female, am engaged to John, 24 male. We have been together for 5 years. We want to get married in July 2025. I always thought that his family liked me because we get along well. He has 2 older brothers, 26 and 29, both married. Honestly, I was very excited to have them all as my in-laws. They were always kind to me. Some kind of important information. About a year ago, when I was scrolling on Instagram, I saw a profile that was kind of cringy, but in a cute way. It was an older woman's profile who shared inspirational quotes. I remember one particular post, and it was something along the lines of, "Only stupid people pretend to know everything. Don't pretend, just ask." Honestly, this quote changed me in a lot of ways. Before that, I was always worried that I might embarrass myself if I didn't know something, and after reading that quote, I realized that if I always pretended that I knew everything, then I'd miss out on actually getting to learn about things. So I decided to change my habits and start admitting that sometimes I genuinely don't know. Someone is talking about the war in Kosovo? Okay, sure. But first, let me ask some questions so I can really understand what we're talking about. And I ask a lot of questions sometimes. I sometimes even open the Notes app and write in some questions that I later want to find answers to. These are my latest. 1. How does time work in a black hole? 2. Why do some snails have shells and others don't? 3. What food is okay for ducks? 4. How does a light bulb work, the old ones with gas inside them? 5. Does everyone see colors the same? And how can we know that? Sorry for the long introduction, but it was kind of necessary for understanding what kind of person I am. I know that sometimes I might come across as annoying. Now on to the problem. His parents hosted a small barbecue last weekend only for the family. So it was the mom, 54 female, dad, 59 male, brothers and their wives, both 27. I was the last person to show up because I had to work late. I entered the house, and when I was walking towards the back of the house into the backyard, I heard John's mom talking about me. To be honest, she wasn't talking about me, more like mocking me. I heard her say in a high-pitched voice, "How does the sun work? Where should I put the fork? Why does nobody like me? How do I wipe my ass?" I just stood there. I had this sinking feeling. I couldn't move, so I just stood there. And I heard them all laughing. One of the wives said, "I actually don't mind her always asking questions. I think it's cute." And it made me feel hopeful that they would say something like, "Yeah, sure, we're just playing. We love that." But none of them did. Instead, the mom replied, "It's not cute, she's just stupid." After that, they laughed again. I even heard John laughing. My heart kind of broke in that moment because he didn't even say one positive thing. He didn't defend me. He just laughed. I quietly turned around and left the house. I texted John that I got sick and had to stay home. Now I'm wondering how I should approach this situation. We live together, and I sleep in the guest bedroom for now. And I use the excuse that I don't want him to get sick from being around me. I can't ignore him forever, and I can't pretend to be sick anymore because it's been too long. I'm not sure how to proceed. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding? I'm considering talking to them about this, but I'm also worried that they won't be honest with me. I can't marry him if he really thinks I'm stupid, but I also can't marry into a family who thinks so little of me. But maybe it was a joke and I shouldn't take it so seriously. I'm so torn apart, and every day I convince myself a bit more that it's okay, and sometimes we should all laugh about ourselves. Now I feel like I'm just going crazy. I would really appreciate some advice. Edit. There are many comments saying that they cannot stand people like me. I agree that sometimes I can be a bit too much with the questions. But with that being said, I still think I'm within reason. I don't do it around people I just met. I rarely do it at parties or other gatherings. I usually do it with people who are close to me, who I think wouldn't judge me, or with people who specifically have knowledge about something and are willing to share it. If I'm a part of a conversation, I'm not rude and I'm not interrupting. I usually just ask 1 or 2 questions. If a discussion is about climate change, I'm not asking about monkeys, if you know what I'm saying. I'm also not a complete dumbass. I don't ask questions that generally would be considered dumb to other people. Those I just write in the Notes app and check the answers later on the internet. I'm capable of reading, so I make good use of it. But after all, I still do ask questions a lot. Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Tell John what you heard. Tell him of all the things you heard. His reaction hurt you the most. Tell him you cannot believe how cruel his mother was, and his laughter and failure to stand up for you was like a knife in the heart. Then ask him, why should I marry you? Someone who is comfortable laughing at me when they think I can't hear them. You know, I ask questions to better understand something. The smartest person in the room is the person who knows they don't know everything and is not afraid to ask. When I heard everyone, all I could hear was ignorance, unkindness, a lack of grace, and no love whatsoever. How very graceful of you and your family to mock someone. Frankly, I'd call off the wedding. Start out with, how does the sun work? Where should I put the fork? Why does nobody like me? How do I wipe my ass? Follow up with, why should I waste my time on a partner who doesn't respect me enough to defend me when people mock me? And how do I tell my fiancé that his mother is a C-word? They were laughing at you behind your back. If he says anything along the lines of, that is how they are, get over it. It is not a big deal. You are too sensitive? Anything that excuses their behavior, then he is really asking you to accept it. He asking you to give your permission for it to continue, and your silence is your permission for it to continue. If they can't say it to your face, that tells you a world of information about the kind of people they are. If you want to see how things really are, confront them about this and see what happens. Their reactions will tell you everything you need to know about all of them, and will be helpful in making such a big decision. It will show you how they deal with conflict, which will be a good indication of what you will be getting yourself into should you marry this guy. They will be a part of your life for as long as they are alive. You need to know if you can tolerate being a part of his family. Now for the first update. First of all, I wanted to say thank you to the people who reached out to answer my questions about black holes, snails, ducks, light bulbs, and other stuff. I would love to have you as my friends. For the other people who said I should just shut up, I don't really care if you find me annoying or hard to be around. I'm okay with that. I don't exist to please everyone. I'm just here for a good time, to have my own interests, and to learn. I didn't expect my post to gain so much attention, but I'm so grateful for the advice. Most of you told me to break up with him, and at the very least confront him. So that's what I decided to do. You gave me the push and confidence to do it. But before I did that, I texted the wife of John's brother, the one who said she liked me asking questions. I asked if we could meet up for coffee. She said sure. We met, and I didn't see the point in pretending to her that I didn't hear their conversation. So after some small talk, I just said, I heard you all talking about me during the barbecue. She immediately got sad and said she feels embarrassed. She explained that it wasn't a joke, wasn't out of context, that it was just mean and hurtful. She said she's sorry for not defending me more, but I said that it's okay and I understand. I told her that I don't blame her for anything, and I just wanted to make sure that I understand the situation and see it for what it really was. And it really was laughing about me behind my back, just bullying. At this point, I just had to confront John. In my last post, so many comments were saying that he would probably try gaslighting me, and you were right. We were having dinner together for the first time since the barbecue happened, because before, I had tried my best to avoid him. Yes, I know, not very mature of me, but other than you guys, I don't really have a strong support system. My family and best friends are hundreds of kilometers away. I only have 2 good friends here. I was so stressed I thought I was going to pass out. My legs were shaking, and I was terrified because I knew deep down that this was the moment when my 5-year relationship would go down the drain. I looked him in the eyes and asked, how does the sun work? He looked confused, so I followed with, where should I put my fork? Why does nobody like me? At this point, realization hit him, and he started nervously laughing. I said I was there and I heard them. After the initial shock passed, he got mad. He said it was rude to eavesdrop. I said it's rude to bully people. He tried telling me that it was just a joke, that I shouldn't be so uptight, that it really was funny. I said that I didn't find it funny and went to the guest room to calm down. He started panicking. He was asking me to please talk to him. He was much more apologetic and said that he would be 100% honest with me. I asked if his mother had made similar comments before the barbecue. He said yes. I asked him if he had ever defended me. He said he tries to. I don't know if I believe him. He told me he loves me and respects me. I don't know if I believe that either. I said that I love him too, but I need a break. He's all I've ever known. He was my first and only partner. I have no outside perspective on this. I have no experience. I need a moment to think. I will be going to my friend's house for a while to think everything through. The apartment has his name on the lease anyway. After I gathered some of my things and left, he kept texting me nonstop. He tried calling, but I didn't respond. I was very hurt because he tried to belittle my feelings, and only later, when he realized that I might break up with him, did he start apologizing. The next day, I decided to give him another chance to explain himself, and I came back to the apartment. He seemed very sad and tired. He said that he told his mother that I had overheard them. I said I don't care. It's his time to step up and show me that he cares. I'm not interested in an apology from his mother. I'm already done with her. I can't put up with this behavior and mocking me like we're in primary school. I saw a comment saying that probably her ego is hurting. I think it's true. She never got the chance or never had the desire to have an education. She is a very good homemaker, but outside of that, she doesn't have many interests of her own. If I'm asking her about making tomato soup, she will be talking for 30 minutes, lecturing me about adding enough sugar, but not too much. She will lecture anyone who is willing to listen. But anytime someone is talking about something she's not familiar with, she gets defensive and tries to imply that nobody cares about that, and if it's not relevant to her, it shouldn't be discussed. Once again, he tried telling me that I should relax because it was only a joke, and at this point, I had enough. I took off my ring and told him that his behavior is a joke, and I can't be the punchline. I told him that I wish him and his family the best, and to look in the mirror to check if they really are as superior as they think they are. I said I'm going to be back with my friend soon to pick up the rest of my stuff, and to not contact me again unless it's about moving my things out. And that's it. I'm done. Thank you all for the advice. Without you, I wouldn't have had the confidence to leave this man. I know I deserve better. I can't be with someone who can't stand up for me, and I wouldn't be able to feel comfortable around his family, so I'm done with the relationship. I hope they will treat his next girlfriend better. Thank you again, Reddit, for the advice. He said it's rude to eavesdrop. LMAO, the audacity of this man. You're so rude for listening to the crap we were talking about you and the house you were in. The irony of him and his garbage family calling you stupid when he tried to pull this inane nonsense is priceless. Your instincts are completely right, and you clearly are a smart girl with a good head on your shoulders. I'm also a person who loves learning about the world, and I promise you can find plenty of people who cherish and admire your curiosity. Was she supposed to turn off her hearing? What a crumpet of a man. Consider couples counseling if you want to save the relationship. I'm not interested in a relationship with someone who thinks that calling his future wife stupid is a funny joke. If he reacted differently, I would probably give him a chance. The fact that he told you it really was funny is all you needed to hear. Heck, I get defensive if someone talks about my friend, let alone someone I'm supposed to want to marry. Good for you for standing up for yourself. I'm curious as to what his mom has to say other than blaming you. Second update 3 months later. It's been some time since I posted last, so I thought I'd give you guys a small update because some people still keep messaging me. I appreciate all the kind words. So, I got my own apartment now. I lived with my friend for a while, and she was an amazing support for me after the breakup. But now I have my own place closer to my university and work. Turns out, my ex-fiancé didn't tell his family that we broke up. I blocked them all except for the ex, because we needed to keep in touch in order to get my stuff from the apartment that we shared, and my nice sister-in-law. And a week after the breakup, she texted me and asked when I would come to the parents' house, because everyone wants to apologize. I called her and said that we're no longer together, and I don't really want their apology. She seemed shocked, because my ex was telling them that we're fine, she just needs some time. Ex-sister-in-law told me that the family is still fighting over this whole ordeal and that the brothers are giving my ex a hard time about the situation. I told her nicely that I don't really want any updates. I like her, but I cannot put my energy toward following their every move. She told me she understands. I don't know what happened after that with them. I'm happy. I went on a date with a cute guy I met in a cafe, but I'm taking everything slow and I don't want to rush into any relationship. I'm not ready because just 3 months ago, I was planning a wedding, and right now I'm single and focusing on studying and work. When I graduate, I want to adopt a kitten, and that's my only goal in terms of any big commitment right now. I also enrolled in CS 50 by Harvard X, and I recommend you all try to learn something new today. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask and I will try to answer in the comments. Hey OP, nice update. First of all, glad that you are doing okay and that you have a place of your own. Keep moving and leave all this in the past. Just learn from this and end that chapter for good. As for your ex, this shows you the lack of guts he had, even to avoid more problems he lied to them. What a POS. But what could you expect from someone with a mother like that? May I ask if you already gone and picked your stuff from his place and blocked him for good? Hope so, for you to end the chapter more easily. Well, hope you the best of luck, and hope you will end your uni soon, so you can adopt the kitten. Wish you the best. Yeah, after a week and a half, I was done picking up my stuff. I tried not to be petty and take my silverware, for example, and not give him a reason to get mad. I didn't want to come alone, so I only went when my friend had the time to help me. He did get mad when I took my air fryer, haha. He loved it more than anything. I blocked him after I took everything that was mine. Seems like you moved on very easily, from love to engaged, and blocked within a few weeks. Yeah, the love faded really fast. I didn't expect it. The attachment to him is still there, but I very quickly stopped feeling love for him when I fully realized that he sees me as stupid, and at the very least not on his level. Last story. My fiancé keeps joking about calling off the wedding, and I don't find it funny anymore. I'm hoping for some advice, or at least outside perspective, because I'm not sure if I'm overreacting. My fiancé, 29 male, and I, 27 female, have been together for 5 years, engaged for 1. Our wedding is scheduled for early next year. Lately, he's been making jokes repeatedly about how there's still time to back out, or how he's still shopping around. He says it in a light-hearted tone, often around friends or family, but it's been happening more often and even in private. At first, I brushed it off as nerves or just bad humor, but now it's honestly starting to hurt. When I told him that it makes me uncomfortable and I would appreciate it if he stopped, he just laughed and said I was being too sensitive, and that he was obviously joking. But it doesn't feel like a joke to me anymore. It feels dismissive and a bit cruel. We've never really had issues communicating before, but I feel like every time I bring this up, he shuts it down or makes me feel like I'm the one being unreasonable. I love him, and I do want to marry him, but this behavior is making me question things I never questioned before. Am I overthinking this? Has anyone else dealt with something similar? Any advice is welcome. Now for the advice. Jokes stop being jokes when they consistently hurt the person you love. He is not being funny, he is being dismissive. Honestly, I would call his bluff if he does it again. Call it off. Go stay with friends or family for a day or two and see how he feels. Reevaluate the relationship 24 to 48 hours later. It could be nerves on his end, but it's not funny or fair to you. Yeah, I agree. Next time he does it, say okay. Then act like you're leaving and do it. If he doesn't call to get you back, he meant it, and you wouldn't want to be with him anyway. If he does call to get you back, say, are you going to keep saying you have time to leave me, or are you finally stopping that nonsense now? Stand up for yourself. Call his bluff. Find out the truth. Good luck. Nothing takes the wind out of their sails so fast as just replying with okay. You aren't ignoring and you're not overreacting, so they just have to sit there with you taking their joke and acknowledging it as the face value. My brother used to make jokes about get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, etc. Eventually, one time I just said okay and got the coffee he wanted and just handed it to him. He never made the joke again.